And the name of Allah, the especially merciful and the entirely merciful. With you, Mr. Sayed Salama, a teacher of English, working for El Kafrawi Official Language Schools in UW. Join me with this lesson for a complete review of relative pronouns. A relative pronoun is used after a noun to make it clear which person or a thing we are talking about. We are going to deal with relative pronouns such as who, whom, whose, which, that, where, when, why do we use relative pronouns? We use relative pronouns to make it clear which person or thing we are talking about. The part of the sentence that gives the information about the person or the thing is a defining relative clause. For example, the man who phoned me yesterday. Who phoned me yesterday? This is called a defining relative clause. The house which I bought. Which I bought. This is also a defining relative clause. The station where we met. Where we met. This is a defining relative clause. For people, we use who, that, whom, and whose. The man who or that phoned me. The girl whose phone I found. The man from whom I took the money. You can say from whom. Note that from is a preposition, from whom. So you can say the man from whom. Don't say from who, but say from whom. The man from whom I took the money. In English, this is very formal. This is a formal language. This is very formal. You can also say the man whom I took the money from. You can write the preposition at the end of the sentence, but as you know, this is less formal. This is less formal. You can also say the man who I took the money from. This is, you can find this in modern English. For objects or things, we use relative pronouns such as which, that, and whose. Like the man that phoned me. So that refers to the man that phoned me. The phone which or that I found. The novel which or that is called Oliver Twist. The novel whose title is Oliver Twist. Note, you can also say the poem, the title of which is F. You can also say the poem of which title is F. Note that the title of which means whose title. Of which title means whose title. For places or times and reasons, we use relative pronouns such as where, when, why, and that. In informal English, you can use this as relative pronouns. But in formal English, we use which plus a preposition. For example, the station where we met. This is informal. This is correct but informal. But you can also say the station at which we met. So both are correct. You can say the station where we met or the station at which we met. But there is a slight or a small difference in meaning. The station where we met, this is informal language, informal English. But you say the station at which we met, this is formal. This is formal. This is used in written English. The day when or that we met, this is informal. You can also say the day on which we met, this is formal. The reason why or that I was absent, this is informal. The reason for which I was absent, this is formal. Can we delete or omit or drop the relative pronoun? Of course we can. But when can we delete or drop the relative pronoun? In formal written English, it's best not to drop it. But in informal English, it's common to drop it. It's common to drop it. For example, we can just say that what comes after a relative pronoun is either a subject or a verb. So we can drop, we can delete, or we can omit the relative pronoun if it is followed by a subject. For example, the girl whom I met. Look at I met. I, this is a subject. So you can delete or omit the relative pronoun, like this one. The girl I met. So you can say the girl who I met, the girl whom I met, or the girl I met. So we can drop the relative pronoun if it's the relative pronoun followed by a subject. The next. So we can just say what comes after the relative pronoun is either a subject. So if it is a subject, so we can drop the relative pronoun. Another example, the house which my father bought. So my father is a subject. My father is a subject. So you can say, you can omit, you can drop, you can delete the relative pronoun which. So you can say the house my father bought, or the house which my father bought. This is correct. You can also say the house my father bought. This is also correct. So to sum up in brief, we can omit or delete the relative pronoun if it is followed by a subject, not a verb. Note you cannot omit or delete whom when it is next to the preposition. So you cannot delete whom. The man from whom I borrowed the money. the girl about whom I was talking. So you cannot omit or delete whom because it is preceded by a preposition. We can just say that what comes after the relative pronoun is either a verb. So if what comes after the relative pronoun is a verb, if it is a verb, so we cannot drop the relative pronoun. We cannot. It's impossible to drop it. The man who lives next to me died yesterday. Who lives? Look at the word lives. So what comes after that pronoun? What comes after the relative pronoun? This is lives. So this is a verb. So you cannot drop the pronoun. You cannot say the man lives next to me. No. The man who lives next to me died yesterday. So you cannot drop the relative pronoun if it is followed by a verb. Another example, the woman who helped me yesterday. The woman who helped me yesterday is my neighbor. So look at the word after who, helped. So helped is a verb. So we cannot drop the pronoun. You cannot delete it. You cannot omit it. So the woman who helped me yesterday is my neighbor. So helped is a verb. So you cannot drop the pronoun. We cannot drop whose, of which, or where. It's impossible to drop them. The woman whose car was stolen is still crying. Whose car? When I say whose car, I mean that the car belongs to this woman. The woman whose car was stolen yesterday is still crying. So whose car, I mean the car belongs to this woman. So you cannot omit or drop whose. So it's impossible to drop it. The book title of which is terrorism. Cannot omit of which. The factory where I work. The factory where I work. The factory where I work is in Cairo. The factory where I work exports cotton. Okay, so you cannot omit or drop which, of which, or where. We can drop when and why. Also why. The day when they met her. The day when they met her. Remember that we said we can omit or drop the relative pronoun if it is followed by a subject. So they is a subject, so we can drop the pronoun. You can also say the day they met her. The day they met her, or the day when they met her. So both are correct. Next one, we can drop when and why. The reason why my father was angry is unknown. So remember that why is a relative pronoun. It is followed by a subject, which is my father. So my father is a subject. So when the relative pronoun is followed by a subject, you can drop the pronoun. So you can say the reason why my father was angry is unknown. You can also say the reason my father was angry is unknown. What means that which. Remember that what is not a relative pronoun. What is an object. What means that which. So what he said is true. What he said is true. So what is not a relative pronoun. This is a subject. So what sometimes refers to a subject. What he said is true. What he said is true. So what is the subject is true. This is the verb. What or that which he said is true. What means that which? So what is not a relative pronoun. It refers to a subject. Sometimes it refers to an object. What means that which? I always remember what my mother says. I always remember what my mother says. So what in this example is not a relative pronoun. This is an object. So what can be used as a subject and it also can be used as an object. So I remember what my mother says, or I remember that which my mother says. What sometimes means the thing that. So what makes me happy is that she always smiles. So what makes me happy is that she always smiles. So what is a subject? What is a subject is a verb. What is a subject is a verb. So what is not a relative pronoun. This is a subject. Which can refer to the whole of a previous clause. She cycled from London to Glasgow, which is pretty good for a woman of 75. So which refers to the previous sentence or the previous clause. So which refers to a complete or a whole sentence. She cycled from London to Glasgow, or cycling from London to Glasgow is pretty good for a woman of 75 years. So which sometimes refer to the previous clause or the previous or the whole of a previous clause. يعني من الآخر كده ممكن which تحل محل العبارة السابقة كاملة. She cycled from London to Glasgow، يعني ركبت الدراجة بتاعتها من لندن لجلاسكو. والحاجة دي بصراحة كويسة على واحدة ست عندها 75 سنة. يبقى which دي عايدة على الجملة اللي قبلها كلها. Another example, we can also say which can refer to the whole of a previous clause. I played a tennis match with my brother. لعبت ماتش تنس، لعبت مباراة مع صاحبي أو مع أخويا. Which made me tired. هذا أرهقني كثيرا. هو إيه اللي أرهقني كثيرا؟ اللعب طبعا، مش my brother. So which هنا refers to the whole of a previous clause، يعني تشير إلى عبارة سابقة. Defining relative clauses add essential information to the sentence and the clause cannot be omitted. يعني عايزين نقول ان العبارة defining اللي بتعرف زي who stole my handbag، لما بتدي معلومة essential أساسية ما نقدرش نحذفها، زي الجمل دي This is the woman who stole my bag. هنا انا بعرف المرأة، بقول الست دي اللي سرقت الشنطة بتاعتي. هنا تعريف، انا بحدد، هنا modify. Who stole my bag. In this way you modify the woman. هنا بتصف المرأة، بنوصفها. This is the woman who stole my bag. So who stole my bag, this is a piece of information which is important, which is essential or necessary. So you cannot omit it, you cannot drop it, you cannot delete it. So if the defining relative clause add essential information to the sentence، هنا معلومات إضافية بس معلومات ضرورية حيوية، هنا the clause cannot be omitted or deleted. Now let's see what happens if we take out the relative clause. طب لو حذفناها وقلنا this is the woman، فهمنا حاجة؟ هنا the meaning is not complete، يبقى دي المعلومة هنا أساسية وضرورية فما أقدرش أحذفها. لكن في جمل تانية ممكن أحذفها وتديني complete meaning، زي الجمل نشوف كده. For example, this is the book that I read. Now let's see what happens if we take out the relative clause. لو حذفنا that I read، this is the book وقف. I think the meaning is not complete، المعنى مش كامل، فدي ما ينفعش تتحذف. This is the book that I read. هنا this is a defining relative clause. ليه ما اقدرش الغيها؟ and لو لغيتها you will have no meaning, or the meaning will not complete, is not complete. Relative clause and essential information. So the car that I drive is a red Mercedes. The car that I drive is a red Mercedes. Now let's see what happens if we take out the relative clause. The car that I drive, the meaning is not complete. The car that I drive, so the meaning is not complete. So this is called defining relative clause. Non-defining relative clauses, however, are not essential, are not important, are not necessary to the sentence. If the clause is removed, or if the clause is omitted or deleted, the sentence still makes sense. It has the same meaning. For example, Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt, is located in the north of Egypt. Now let's see what happens if we take out the relative clause. You can pronounce it like this: Cairo is located in the north of Egypt. So the meaning is complete. So you can delete or omit or take out or remove which is the capital of Egypt. So you can remove it. You can say Cairo is located in the north of Egypt. So the meaning is complete. So this is called non-defining relative clause. يعني عبارة ملهاش لازمة، من الآخر أقدر أحذفها والغيها خالص عادي. ودي بنعرفها إزاي؟ بنحطها بين two commas. بنحطها بين two commas. يبقى لما تكون العبارة ملهاش لازمة أو بتدي معلومة ثانوية، حطها بين two commas. والأفضل إنك تقول which، ما تقولش that. You cannot say Cairo that is the capital of Egypt is located in the north of Egypt. لا، الأفضل تقول Cairo which is the capital of Egypt is located in the north of Egypt. يبقى بنعرف ازاي ان كانت defining clause ولا non-defining clause. والله لو حذفناها والمعنى ما اكتملش تبقى هي defining clause. لو اتحذفت والمعنى اكتمل تبقى هي non-defining clause. وفي الغالب بنحطها بين commas, between two commas, like this one. Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt, is located in the north of Egypt. Now let's see what happens if we take out the relative clause. You can say Cairo is located in the north of Egypt, so the meaning is complete. Remember that which is built between two commas. Another example, as we said, non-defining relative clauses are not essential, are not important to the sentence. If the clause is removed, so the sentence still makes sense, so it has the same meaning. For example, this is another example. My grandmother, who is 68 years old, is coming on holiday with us this year. Now let us see what happens if we take out the relative clause. لو حذفنا العبارة اللي بين two commas، هل المعنى هيكتمل؟ لو اكتمل يبقى يجوز نحذفها. My grandmother is coming on holiday with us this year. So the meaning is complete. So this is non-defining relative clause. Remember that the non-defining relative clause is put between two commas. خلي بالك بتتحط ما بين اتنين commas زي who and which، لكن ما ينفعش that. Use whom, which after commas, not that. This is a rule. Use whom, which after commas, not that. So you can say Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt, is very overcrowded. Mr. Sayed, who traveled to America, is a teacher of English. You can say Cairo is very crowded. Mr. Sayed is a teacher of English. So the relative clause here is not important. So this is called non-defining clause. It is put between two commas. So this information is not necessary. It's not important. So we use whom, which after commas. Don't use that. You cannot use that. So that is not correct here. And next one, use that, not which or who. With these words, you can say all, that, anyone, that, someone, that, something, that, everyone, that, the only person, that, many, that, much, that, for you, that, no, that. With these words, مع الكلمات دي, with these words, الأفضل نحن نستخدم that. Don't say which or who. She was the only person that helped me. Don't say she was the only person who helped me. This is not correct. So the only, that, all, that, any, that, one, that, some, that, every, that, only, that, many, that, much, that, few, that, no, that. So this is a rule. Use that, not which or who, with these words. She was the only person that helped me. Don't say she was the only person who helped me. It's better to say she was the only person that helped me. I gave him all the money that he needed. All that. All that. Remember this one. I think this is very important. Remember this one. All, any, one, some, every, only, many, much, for you. If these words are followed by of, don't say of that, but say of which or of whom. Say, I took 3 pictures, all of which. Don't say all of that. All of which. All of which. Don't say all of that. All of which. All of which. Because this is a preposition. So all of which. Some of whom. All of which. All of that is not correct. I took 3 pictures, all of. If these words are followed by of, so don't use that, but use which or whom. All of which. I took 3 pictures. I took 3 pictures, all of which are not clear. I met some professors, some of whom work in California. So say and don't say. Say all of which. Don't say all of that. This is not correct. The next Another rule you should take care about, with superlatives, I mean by superlative means the tallest, the shortest, the biggest, the most beautiful, the most exciting. So with superlatives, use that, not who. Yes, with superlative, use that, not who. For example, she's the most beautiful girl. So this is superlative. That I have ever met. Don't say who I have ever met. So superlative, that, not who, not which. She's the most beautiful girl that I have ever met. So with superlative adjectives, it's better to say that, not who, not which. She's the most beautiful girl that I have ever met. This is the most attractive house I have ever seen. This is the funniest film that I have ever watched. So with superlative, like the tallest, the shortest, the strongest, the most beautiful, the funniest, the happiest, it's better to say that, not who or which. With nouns such as help. Whose help? So help here is not a verb. This is a noun. Hope is not a verb. When you say whose hope, يعني أملهم. Whose help مساعدتهم. Whose wish رغبتهم. Whose stay إقامتهم. Whose visit زيارتهم. Whose play مسرحيتهم. Whose pay مرتبهم. Whose imports واردتهم. Whose exports صادرتهم. Whose likes اهتماماتهم, etc etc etc. خلي بالنا يا شباب، في الجمل لو جات الكلمات دي على انها nouns يبقى لازم تتبع بكلمة whose وليست who. For example, I read for Shakespeare. أنا قرأت لويليام شكسبير. Whose plays are famous. مسرحياته مشهورة جدا. Whose plays. So whose plays is a noun. Whose help is a noun. Whose hope is a noun. Whose wish, whose stay, whose visit, whose play, whose pay, whose imports, whose exports, whose likes, and whose dislikes. Remember, if these words are nouns, so it must be preceded by whose, not who. This is an example. I read for Shakespeare whose plays are famous. Whose plays means his plays. Another example, the foreigners whose stay ended must leave. الأجانب اللي الإقامة بتاعتهم انتهت لازم يمشوا. So stay is a noun, not a verb, because it is preceded by whose. So the foreigners whose stay ended must leave. Another example, the company whose exports, الشركة اللي الصادرات بتاعتها are of high quality، نوعيتها كويسة أو صادراتها كويسة، will be honored، هتتكرم. So whose exports is a noun بمعنى صادراتها. Remember this one. Another example, I respect parents whose hope، أنا بحترم الآباء اللي أملهم is to bring up their children well. أملهم في الحياة، أمنيتهم في الحياة تربية أولادهم صح. whose hope أملهم في الحياة. Note number 1. This is my colleague who I work with. So this is correct. who with a preposition. You can have a preposition with who I work with. But this is my colleague that I work with. This is not correct. This is wrong. Why? لأن القاعدة بتقول no preposition before that or after that. No preposition، مفيش حرف جر بيجي مع that لا قبلها ولا بعدها. So this is my colleague who I work with. This is correct. You cannot say this is my colleague that I work with. طب ليه يا مستر؟ Because no preposition before or after that. You can say who I work with or with that I work. This is not correct. Okay, the next one. This is rule number 1. Number 2. Ali is my friend with whom I work. علي ده صاحبي اللي أنا بشتغل معاه. This is the key with which I open the door. ده المفتاح اللي بفتح بيه الباب. With which, with whom. طب القاعدة بتقول إيه؟ You can have a preposition before whom and which. قبل whom وقبل which ممكن أجيب حرف جر. You can have a preposition before whom and which. Number 3. This is the house where I met. So for places you can say where. This is the house where, because I'm talking about a place. This is the house where I live. You can also say this is the house in which I live. This is also correct. You can also say this is the house which I live in. طب القاعدة بتقول ايه يا مستر؟ where ممكن يحل محلها in which أو which in. This is note number 3. Number 4. To where, from where. To where, from where. I think this is something new. To where or from where means what? To the place where. For example, I took the laptop to where it was repaired. معنى الجملة أنا خدت اللابتوب للمكان اللي كان متصلح فيه. يبقى to where means to the place where. Remember this one. I took the laptop to where it was repaired. I took the laptop to where it was repaired. So to where means to the place where. To the place where. To where means to the place where. Remember this one. Remember this one. To where or from where means to the place where. I took the laptop to where it was repaired. أنا أخدت اللابتوب للمكان اللي كان متصلح فيه. So to where means to the place where. The next one, another example just to explain or to clarify this one. I asked the driver to bring the kids from where the bus had broken down. طلبت من السواق يجيب الأولاد من المكان اللي الباص اتعطل فيه. يبقى from where means from the place where. From where means from the place where. Remember this one. I think this is very important. To where and from where means to the place or from the where, the place where. Number 5. No preposition. ممنوع تجيب حرف جر after or before when. أمال البديل إيه؟ On which. Friday is the day on which my son was born. يوم الجمعة ده اليوم اللي ابني اتولد فيه. Don't say on when. So no preposition. ممنوع تجيب حرف جر after or before when. You can also say Friday is the way of the day when my father was born or on which. So when means on which. Like don't say on when, because عندنا قاعدة بتقول no preposition، مفيش حرف جر، no preposition after or before when. Number 6, we can drop، ممكن نحذف who أو which أو that لو كانت بتحل محل جملة ماضي مستمر أو مضارع مستمر. For example, the girl who is wearing a scarf is my sister. البنت اللي لابسة scarf شرب أو تحجيبة is my sister. لو نلاحظ ان الجملة who is wearing a scarf، الجملة دي ممكن تتحذف خالص بدليل ان الفعل ما هو عندي is. The girl is my sister. The girl is my sister, and this is a complete meaning، معنى كامل. So who is wearing ممكن تتحذف تماما ونقول نكتفي بال ing. The girl who is wearing a scarf is my sister. The man who is playing football is my brother. The woman who is sweeping the floor is my mother. The teacher who is explaining the lesson is my father. So who is wearing ممكن تتحذف تماما ونقول wearing اسم فاعل. Who is wearing اكتفي بايه؟ wearing. Another example just to clarify: the man who is playing chess is my brother. You can also say the man playing chess is my brother. Remember this one. The man is my brother. This is a complete meaning. The meaning is complete. So you can omit or delete the relative pronoun who is, and you can leave playing. Next one. Drop number note number 6. We can drop who, which, that if it is followed by a passive. This is passive. The story which was written by Ali is exciting. You can say the story is exciting. So the meaning is complete. The story is exciting. This is a complete meaning, or the meaning is complete. The story is exciting. So you can omit or drop which was, and you can leave just the past participle. So the story written by Ali is exciting. So this is the main verb. So what's missing? So you can leave the past participle only. So the story which was written by Ali is exciting. You can say the story written by Ali is exciting. Another example: the company which was founded by my father is well established. Which was found. التي أسست. passive. أشيل كل ده وأكتفي بالتصريف الثالث بس. The company founded by my father is well established. أعرف إزاي إذا كان هبقى على ال ing أو التصريف الثالث؟ لو قرأت الجملة وطلعت الفيرب زي is ولقيت المعنى كامل، يبقى اللي في النص ده ممكن يتحذف واكتفي بيه past participle أو present participle، سواء ing أو التصريف الثالث past participle. بس أقرأ الجملة كويس. The company is well established. كده الجملة تمام. The company is well established. يبقى كل ده يتحذف وممكن اكتفي بالpast participle بس، لأن الجملة كان في الأصل passive. Number 7. عبارة it is or it was لازم يجي معاها كلمة that. أما أقول it is Graham Bell that invented the telephone. Don't say it is Graham Bell who invented the telephone. It is that. It was that. Remember this one. It was fish that we ordered for lunch. It is Graham Bell that invented the telephone. It is Ali that broke the window. Don't say it is Ali who broke the window. So it is that. Don't say it is was or it is that. It is who. So it is that, it was that. This is number 7. The next and the last one, I think, Alex, which is a big city in Egypt, has wonderful beaches. خلي بالك كده، هنا بنتكلم عن الإسكندرية مش مكان بنشتغل فيه أو بننام فيه أو بنعمل فيه، لا بالعكس. أنا بعمل هنا description للمكان، بوصفه، بتكلم عنه as an object، كشيء بوصفه. يبقى بنتكلم عنه كشيء وصفي بنوصفه، يبقى ما نقولش where، نقول which، لأن أنا بوصف هذا المكان. So Alex, which is a big city in Egypt, has wonderful beaches. So Alex, which is a big city in Egypt، دي كلها ممكن تتحذف. أقول which، ما أقولش where، لأن بتكلم عن وصف للمكان. لكن لو بقول اسكندرية اللي أنا ساكن فيها أو عايش فيها، ساعات أقول Alex where I live. Alex, which is a big city in Egypt, has wonderful beaches. So Alex, which, because in this example we describe the place. Another example, this is the house which we built. Don't say this is the house where we built, because I'm talking about the house. I'm just describing an object. We are describing the house. What kind of house am I talking about? I'm talking about the house which I built. So I am describing an object. بوصفه، وصف. Use the correct preposition in which. أحيانا يا أولاد بيجيلي في الأربع جمل اختياري at which, in which, for which, by which. على أي أساس بختار البريبوزيشن؟ بختار حرف الجر على أساس الفعل اللي موجود عندي في الجملة. زي دي مثلا بقول use the correct preposition with which. استخدم حرف الجر المناسب the suitable preposition مع كلمة which حسب الفيرب اللي قدامي. He made a mistake. تجيلي في الامتحان he made a mistake at which, for which, in which, by which. he must apologize. ادور على الفعل apologize. دايما احنا عارفين apologize for يعتذر عن. يبقى ليه قلت for which؟ عشان apologize for. يبقى البريبوزيشن بنجيبه على حسب الفعل اللي موجود. Another example, he asked a question to which I didn't answer. سأل سؤال وأنا ما ردتش عليه. سأل سؤال أنا ما ردتش عليه. طب ليه يا مستر قلت to which؟ عشان عندي answer to، إجابة على answer to. The next one, he said something to which I didn't reply. قال حاجة وأنا ما ردتش عليها. ليه to which؟ عشان عندي reply to. reply to. See you next week inshallah, and thank you for watching.